We are back on Morning Line. Thanks for joining us. Our final segment this morning on the Veterans Adventure Group. We wanted to give a segment on this, a whole show, just to highlight it because I've done so many programs on fantastic veterans groups that help them when they get back. But this is a little different. A little different in some ways. The mission to cover a full range of extreme sports, including mountain climbing, earning your license for skydiving. The goal, participants keep the equipment, they can continue training together, but the goal really is to get them to fill the gap they're missing from when they come from back overseas, right?
That's correct, yep.
And have you been in touch at all with the VA at all? I understand you're privately funded, but if it was something that they were aware of, that they could point veterans this direction when the time comes, is that something you can do, or do they do that? I don't know.
So we are working on that. It's different because it's this unconventional method of healing.
Right.
You know, there's actually a lot of studies out there on extreme sports and their benefits on your physical and mental health. But it's a very new science, and we're kind of just starting to learn about these different effects this has on people. So it's kind of hard to get your foot in the door with that being said.
Yeah.
However, like you start looking into, there's a lot of very interesting statistics that come along with this. So of all returning veterans from overseas, 50% claim to have PTSD.
Yeah.
Of that 50%, only 10% were ever exposed to combat. So you have this 40% of people claiming PTSD who are never exposed to combat. And the argument is actually that they have what's called transition syndrome, which often gets misdiagnosed for PTSD. But this transition syndrome kind of comes into really having a lack of that community when you get back out.
Okay.
And I mean, I look at my story. I got back out, went to a small town where I was from, Minnesota, and I didn't really know any other veterans. I didn't really, as Mike was saying earlier, his friend group, like you're kind of different. It's not you're not friends anymore, but there's just a different dynamic in in that relationship, and you feel very alienated. And so, this kind of stuff kind of helps rebuild that community you had on a much smaller level.
Man, I was just thinking, I'm trying to relate to this, having never served overseas like you guys, but it's like the endorphin rush. And I know neither of you could do this for the rush, but I was thinking about Laird Hamilton's this big wave surfer, famous big wave surfer, and he talked about when he rides some of these big waves for a couple of days. And it's much different than you marching every day, realizing you could be a target and being shot and what you're feeling. And after he rides it that evening, he just feels this incredible rush. And then the waves go away, and he slips into depression for maybe 3 weeks afterwards. Now I can imagine someone like you on an entire tour, every day being out there, having to be up, and it's not a fun rush, but you're right. I mean, you're worried at any moment you could be shot. Right. When that finally goes away, it's not that you want that feeling again, but that was there for a year, right? You come back stateside,
heightened sense of awareness,
and all of a sudden, all those nerve endings, it's shut down. It's good that you're no longer at risk of being shot, right? But is that what sends you into the spiral down when you come back?
I would say partly. And like Justin was saying, it was just the fact of not having that team, not having that camaraderie.
Well, the camaraderie as well.
Yeah.
And what you were doing,
all that together, really, because especially because nowadays, back in World War II, or Vietnam, stuff like that, they had a pretty good transition period coming back from the war zone to stateside. Nowadays you've got a guy that may be in Afghanistan today, 3 days from now, he's sitting back at the house. There's no transition period.
Right.
And it's hard to wind down and shut that switch off.
Absolutely. I mean, I can just see how that is. I think I understand it when you come back and just not knowing what to do. So what's the growth plan for this? What do you think? You're 1 year in.
Yeah, we're 1 year in. So our goal last year was just to do the skydiving mountaineering. This year our goal was to do 4 teams, and 2 of those teams we wanted to be at other locations in the country.
And the team is 8, you're hoping?
We do usually teams of 3 to 4.
3 to 4, okay. So you're hoping, again, last year there were 8 people that went through it. This year maybe a little bit more?
Yeah, so this year the goal was to do 4 teams. We actually have a total of, there's 9 separate teams if you kind of start breaking it down. We've had so much interest and so many people wanting to get involved. We've been able to build a few additional teams. And we have several teams in different parts of the country this year as well. So we really exceeded our goal for this year in terms of growth. To the point where we kind of had to put the brakes on so we can do what we do well instead of just kind of lose control of it.
Yeah.
But our goal really is to get a good foundation here in Nashville to the point where any veteran in this area has easy access to get involved with our group, as well as start building these other groups. We also just opened up another chapter in northern Alabama that they specialize in caving and rappelling.
Cool.
But they're getting ready to kind of ramp up and do their whole thing. They're going to start building mountaineering teams, ultramarathon teams, all that out of there as well. So we got a new chapter opening up. But ultimately, one of the biggest things is trying to spread the word. Being new, it's hard to get that word out there. And for two, when 100% of everything donated goes straight back to our teams, that money's not going to marketing. Our marketing budget comes out of my pocket or anyone else on my board or internally that wants to contribute.
You need to do shows like this. So you need to get news stories on it in every community, something along this lines. And it is newsworthy, I think, because it's different. That's the key. It's different and it's helping veterans, and that's all worthy stuff.
Yeah, so opportunities like this is huge for us. And one of the biggest things that helps us is just getting online and liking our page on Facebook. Following us on Facebook allows us to push our message, and we have so many community events that you can come out, just whether it's hiking or paddleboarding or we got the skydiving stuff too. Like, there's so many ways you can get involved, whether you're a veteran, civilian, but we'd love to have you and love to just help spread the word about what we're doing.
Yeah, and again, you said, so some civilians, or let's say a veteran wants to do this and he has a buddy that's a civilian that did not serve, but wants to go through it with him.
Yeah, so we've actually done something very similar where our mountaineering team last year, we had some civilians come with us.
Okay, but they're all helping with the fundraising and everything as well, right?
So pretty much all we do.
But here's the thing: I don't want them taking a space from a veteran that wants to go.
No, they won't. Yeah, we have it set up that way. They won't be taking that space. All the funding obviously goes to our veteran teams. If they fund themselves, we can run them through the skydiving program and stuff with them.
Gotcha.
We just don't use funds, but ultimately we have the way to get extra spots for them so they can join us.
Good. That's good. Are you guys looking for sponsors as well? Is that something you would do at some point if someone said, some business wanted to sponsor the Veterans Adventure?
Definitely. We'd love to have sponsors. We're a small local nonprofit here in Nashville, and we love to have local businesses involved, really. And whether it's not only just financial things. Obviously there's a financial benefit that we could really benefit from, but stuff is gear. All these different extreme sports require different types of gear, and there's a lot of companies that manufacture this gear here in Nashville. We'd love to have help us out.
Right.
Even marketing expertise. Something as simple as printing out postcards or mailers, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That goes a long way. That's really expensive, and I can't afford to continue to be funding all this.
Yeah.
At the same time too, help with like our website. We'd love to get our website, built to the point where we have all the applications and all that right in there, but we just don't have the expertise to do that as volunteers at this point.
Right.
And so, if you can't, help us out financially, there's so many other ways you can help us out within your expertise. Even do, shows like this, having opportunities to speak. We do a lot of gear presentations and speaking for civic organizations as well. We're bringing out all of our parachutes and all the mountaineering gear, and we let people check it out. Or like setting up booths at events, like we were at the Predators game not long ago, or down to Centennial Park.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so like, just any opportunity we can get to get out there in the community and let people know, hey, we're here, this is what we do, we want you to get involved. But yeah, that's really what it comes down to, just getting the word out there.
That's right, get it out, because you got to figure, right now, you're just starting with the small, like 8, and then you're going to have a few more this time around.
Yep.
There've got to be thousands and thousands of veterans across the country that eventually, when they learn of this, now it may not be for everyone, that not everyone wants to go back into some extreme sports, but that would benefit from this. I mean, at some point, you're going to have to, maybe until you grow bigger, put a cap on how many you can. I guess you already are.
And that's what we've had to do. Ultimately, I kind of find it ironic. There's a lot of nonprofits out there that their biggest struggle is actually finding veterans for their programs. And we kind of have the opposite problem. We have all the veterans, and we have veterans coming to us every day, but we just don't have the funding to push them through.
Right.
So it's one of the things where we've fixed the problem of getting veterans interested, which I think a lot of the reason why we have the veteran interest is we aren't saying, hey, you're broken, let us fix you. It's simply, hey, you're awesome, we want to help you keep being awesome. And we aren't really putting out that broken veteran image, which also, sadly to say, it makes it harder to fundraise when you aren't, kind of pulling at people's heartstrings. People don't realize, how is jumping on an airplane help anybody? And then you got guys like Mike in here and say, well, I was jumping on airplanes, and now suddenly the PTSD,
you're not on the drugs anymore.
Right.
But we don't ever go and people like, hey, we'll cure your PTSD by doing this.
Right.
That's just my personal story.
Not
saying it'll happen for everybody.
Right. Exactly.
So it's it's going to take time for us to build up the veteran base where we can share success stories like that, so people can understand that even though we aren't necessarily trying to fix anybody, that what we do does have a lot of benefit to improve the lives of these veterans.
Man, all right. So you're going to stick with it and help out, or what are you going to do now? Like, I'm just wondering, alumni like him.
My plans, especially with the skydiving, is to eventually become an instructor.
Okay.
That way.
So he can head up one of the teams then, or
that way when veterans come through, he doesn't have that cost of instructor. He may just, the group may have to pay for my lift ticket.
Right.
As I'm teaching the other veterans come through, and that'll really mitigate the cost. putting them through.
Let's put up, I think we have the information for your website. There it is, right there. Yep. Just, again, that's what you have up there where they can learn more information about it. Correct. They can also learn about making donations or to sign up or to contact you. And I assume there's some list you're collecting for when you can take more veterans on.
Yeah, so we have an application that we have everyone fill out, and we just kind of store it all in our database. And as you know, say we on that list, it gives them what are you interested. You know, we figure that out, and when we're building those teams, we contact them like, hey, we got a team in your area, we can start putting this together. Or if we get one veteran in the middle of, say, South Carolina that wants to do something, you know, we work with them on trying to help them build a team out there, so that way they can actually get involved with our program.
Right.
Because again, it's not going to do us as much good if we just, you know, take these veterans from all over the country, bring them together, get them certified, then send them back out. Like, we want something that's lasting, that's in their community, that's locally, so they can really sustain this for the rest of their time in that community.
Now, do you think other people around the country are hearing about this more now? I have to figure right now, this is your base. This is where you guys are. This is where it started. So Nashville, because of Talk of the Town, shows like this, maybe you'll get some things in the paper. We know about it, right? So it's going to grow from word of mouth, or as you said, you know, you need marketing help, I guess.
Yeah,
just to go national.
And you know, being in the military, you have such a good network of people that you serve with that live all over the country. Right. And a lot of the guys I serve with have been awesome advocates of spreading the word about what we're doing, and which has allowed us to have a team. Our mountaineering team's out of Seattle this year. Right. We have another mountaineering team out of northern Kentucky. You know, we got guys from Florida. I get people, you know, almost every day from all over the country reach out to me, and it's kind of, I was like, I don't even know how you heard about this, but obviously within the veteran community, people are hearing about what we're doing and they're really excited about it. That's cool. And the word's spreading. On our end, it's just like, all right, we need to get, you know, our fundraising and all that set up so we can actually, you know, when these people contact us, we don't have to be like, all right, man, stand by while we get this worked out. It's kind of like, all right, boom, we're ready to roll. Let's get you going.
They're calling you. They want to. I'll tell you, who does the shirts? The shirts are cool. That cave shirt's cool. I mean, do you guys design them, or do you just get? Yeah,
we design all of our own shirts. We have an awesome print shop here, Screen Threads in town, that does all the printing for us. Scott down there has been awesome at working with us, helping us get great prices. So again, he understands that these are how we make most of our money, is selling the shirts. And so he's really giving us good prices, giving us great quality shirts.
If you just want to support, go to the website. You can order shirts. You said there's, I don't know, what, hats, bumper stickers, things like that. That's awesome, and hopefully the budget just keeps growing along this. It's a pretty good idea, huh?
Yeah, it's coming along.
I mean, you looked around out there wasn't anything quite like this, and it seems to be working for the veterans. So, I mean, what you need to do is let us know if you have other activities coming up that we can help promote for you or get the word out. And look, when you become just this giant nationwide thing, don't forget who your friends are. But the main thing is, one way or the other, the veterans need this help, and I think it's fantastic for them. And you're proof positive of that.
Yeah, we actually have a skydiving event coming up May 7th.
May 7th,
out at Music City Skydiving in Waverly, Tennessee.
Okay.
Yes. If you are interested in skydiving, just check out our Facebook page. You'll see the event May 7th. We got an awesome discount lined up with Music City Skydiving. Taylor down there has been awesome with working with us.
That's the way to do it. Get the word out.
Yeah, we'd love to come out there and jump with us. All of the guys on our skydiving team will be out there, so they can meet them, actually talk to them, and
Justin, good luck with everything. Thank you so much for coming on, and Mike, you as well.
Thank you.
Good to see you both. Take a break. Be back with that website for you and programming note about tomorrow right after this. Guys,